Instagram's Elisa Benson and top media brands reveal how to drive revenue from the popular platform. Please welcome them to the AMMC stage.
Hi everybody, my name is Elisa Benson. I'm in the Instagram Publishing Partnerships team. So my job at Instagram is to work with all of the all-stars on this stage to help them do amazing, magical things on Instagram. Before I started at Instagram about 1.5 years ago, I actually worked at Hearst Magazines for 11 years. And way back in the day at Cosmo, I was actually the person who created the Cosmo Instagram account. And we used to print out every photo and route it in a folder to the editor-in-chief to approve before we would post it. So things have come a long way since then. But I'm very fortunate to have 3 people who are not passing any printed out things in folders because they are so much smarter and so much savvier than I was back then to talk through the amazing things that they are doing on Instagram. So the way that the next 30-ish minutes are going to work is that I'm going to give them each 4 minutes and 4 minutes only to share an Instagram success story. I'm timing you guys on my phone, so don't make me have to interrupt you. And then we'll have a few minutes where I'll sort of grill them on some Instagram questions. So first, I'm very excited to hand things over to Daria Bernardoni, who is in town from Milan, where she is the editor-in-chief of Freeda, one of my favorite publications for women, even though it's all in Italian, and I can't read a word of it. Daria is an expert at branded content on Instagram, so we brought her over here from Italy to tell us how she does it. So Daria, take the stage.
Yes. Hi, everybody. As Elisa said, I'm Daria. I'm really, really happy to be here. So thank you for the Instagram team for inviting me. And today, I'm going to share something about who we are, what we are doing, and what's the best way to create Instagram stories that can engage your community and help brands to hit their business goals. So Freeda is a media brand born in Italy in 2016 to give voice to new global generation of women who are getting for the first time in Italy the freedom they deserve, the freedom to speak their minds, to gain their rights, and also to express themselves. We are a business that is started from Italy, but with a very global ambitions, and we are trying to focus on 3 main values that are women achievement, personal style, and global sisterhood. These values are very important for us because keeping consistency to our editorial plan is the key to build a brand identity that can really generate engagement on our users. Our
Sorry, not to interrupt you. This is actually the one, so just click one more.
Okay, sorry.
There's a very confusing confidence
I got
water.
it now, so perfect. Yes, perfect, thank you. So this is our values, and based on these values, we are developing an editorial plan based on content that spread real women's stories to inspire positive change, because our main goal is actually to beat stereotypes and overcome prejudice and promoting women achievement, personal style, and sisterhood. Our model is based on 4 main pillars that are, for sure, mobile, social, community feedback, and creativity. Mobile because, 98% of our content is consumed on mobile devices, but actually not only mobile devices, specifically social mobile apps, such as Facebook and Instagram. That's why we are building content that are social first. So we don't even have a website. We decided to focus only on design content that are directly published on social media. Thanks to Instagram and Facebook, we have built a community of people who are generating millions of interaction per month. And based on this interaction and their feedback, we are constantly improve our content. So listening is key for us. That doesn't mean that we are just following what users want from us, but it means that we are constantly challenge ourselves to improve our content for the main value that we are trying to follow, that is creativity. So it's not just following the user, but listen to them to improve our creativity and create unexpected content every day. That's the reason why we grow a very huge community. We started to publish content in 2017 on Facebook and Instagram in Italy. Then in 2018, we opened our local base in Madrid, Spain, and now we are talking also to a Spanish speaker community. Adding LinkedIn and YouTube, we are talking to 4 million people per month. So thanks to these achievements, we are starting to work with brands and partners who want to connect with this kind of audience, who wants to understand what millennials and Gen-Z women are thinking and what they want. So we are partnering with kind of the best brands in the market, trying to change the market and to introduce brand new formats such as Instagram stories that are one of our best-selling products right now. This is a kind of sample of what.
Pomeriggio al sole o ho detto una cazzata? E la nostra amicizia si basa su.
Okay, so as you can see, all the people in these stories are kind of belonging to this new generation. So they strongly believe in the values that we are sharing, and they can represent the audience that we are talking to. So this kind of authenticity and empathy that we can generate through our stories is the key to success, the key to the engagement, and based on our learnings, we can also help brands to hit the same kind of results for the branded content strategy they are building with us. So, for example, we work with Gucci to trying to, hit the goal of positioning the brand in a very deep way, telling the stories of a young dancer that is fighting for her rights as an immigrant in Italy, and the stories format could help us to, associate the brand with our values. But we can also drive traffic and conversion for our partners thanks to the swipe up option and to a kind of more gamificated format of entertainment. We can also, hit conversions goal. We are also working a lot with engagement through the polls. For example, our roster in this case is asking our audience what to do. So people vote, and she is going to do what people are asking for. Also, from the product placement point of view, we are working on new kind of product explanation through our illustration. That is a kind of tricky point because not every brand is so, compliant to illustration when we are talking about product placement, but it can work a lot because it's so engaging that people really can, rely to the can really go into the product feature. So that's why I'm here today, and I hope I am respecting the time. So thank you, Elisa. Thank you, all of you. I will wait for answering your question.
I actually immediately forgot to time you, so that was on me, but you were great. And now very excited to welcome Negar Mohammad to the stage, who did a super cool project on Instagram stories driving subscriptions for Vogue, which is probably a brand people have heard of.
Thank you so much. I mean, I hope so. As she said, I oversee brand marketing for Vogue, so if you're not familiar with my magazine or the September issue, then I'm not doing a good job. But basically, the September issue is one of our biggest tentpole moments. From a brand marketing perspective, it's a moment where we can really drive a lot of buzz and excitement around Vogue, but it's also a consumer revenue opportunity, both in terms of magazine sales, subscription sales, and then, of course, that translates to advertising. So for us, the September issue is, like I said before, one of our biggest moments, and we see so much authentic anticipation around its release, both from the physicality aspect of it. We see so many people who collect the issues and really reference it as their fall fashion Bible, so to speak. but also from an Instagram point of view. The day the cover's released, we authentically see so many people posting about it, and they have their comments on whether or not they like who's on it, but it's really an authentic sharing moment. So for us, when we were looking at our goals for the September issue of driving awareness, but also having a consumer moment, Instagram seemed like the most perfect partner for that. And really using the digital vehicle for the creative aspects of it to bring the cover to life and showcase it to our audience, but also take advantage of some of the new swipe to buy features and really leverage that immediacy that Instagram is so well known for so the consumer can directly respond. It was amazingly successful for us, and I can walk through some of the stats, but what we really did was the day that we released the cover, which is about a week in advance of when it's available on newsstand in New York and LA, we released who the cover star is with the beautiful imagery and some behind the scenes footage on Instagram. So it's really for our loyal audience. And like I said, we already see authentic pickup of that. But this was the first time where we gave an action to the consumer where they could see that Beyonce's our cover star. They can go through the behind the scenes assets that have never been seen before. And when they want more, they can swipe to buy and guarantee that they're gonna have that issue pre-ordered and delivered to them via Amazon. We did that for the day of our cover release and sold out completely that first day. The next day, we pivoted our strategy looking at our second goal of driving subscriptions and have the swipe to buy be to subscribe and get that guarantee of getting the September issue. Instagram was such an amazing partner for this because obviously for our magazine, for any magazine, visual is so important, and we have to do the Beyonce photos justice, so we can't just have them be in some average format. We really took advantage of Instagram's beautiful displays and the offerings that they provide to bring the campaign to life. We also took advantage of Instagram's targeting capabilities. Sorry, I messed up too with the whole confidence monitor, but I talked through all of this, so you don't have to read it. We took advantage of the targeting capabilities that allow us to really look after a new segment. So we're looking at who we already have in our demographic, which is really 16 to 65-year-olds, a wide range of Vogue readers, but looking at people who maybe have an interest in fashion that aren't already following Vogue, and that can really give us an expansive reach and appeal to a new consumer. Some of the results that we saw of this campaign, which surprised almost all of us, we saw 20% of our total subscription sales come through this campaign alone. And Instagram Stories proved to be an amazing vehicle for us in terms of driving conversion at a really efficient rate. We saw a higher conversion rate than we do across some of our other ad campaigns, and we saw lower cost per acquisition as well. Our click-through rate as well on these ads were significantly higher at 77% than we had seen on average. And I think, again, that goes back to really leveraging the capabilities that Instagram offers with the beautiful assets that we had with our videos and our photography. And for us, I think the biggest soundbite for us was the fact that that first day, we had allocated a certain number of pre-order September issues for Amazon, and introducing the swipe to buy, we sold out completely. I think something that in magazines that has always baffled me when I first started was that anything in the world you can get that same day delivered to you, but like if you really want the September issue and you subscribe, you wait a few weeks to get it. So this really partnered with Amazon, of course, but really gave that immediacy, and it was a moment for us to really offer direct response for such a pivotal moment for our brand. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, excited to welcome my former Hearst colleague, the newly minted editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan, Jess Pels.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very new to the job. We actually just a few hours ago broke my very first cover.
Congrats. Amazing.
Very exciting.
So
Thank you. That's the only place where I would get applauded for that.
This panel is like the second most exciting thing you've done today.
I didn't say that, but no, so the way I like to think about Instagram and how it relates to what we do across digital and print and all of our platforms is that we want to create as valuable a content value proposition as we can in that particular place so that we can give the reader where we're reaching her the most intimate, the most satisfying experience with the brand that she can have. But I also think a lot, the flip side of that coin is how we can leverage one platform to benefit another, right? So none of our platforms exist in a vacuum. They're all in an ecosystem and they can throw to each other. And I think figuring out that gameplay is really fun. And there are certain ways in which we strategically lean into it and certain ways in which we strategically lean out, which I'll talk about in a bit. But first I should talk about why we drive traffic through Instagram, which is that, and this is an outdated number, our reader actually opens Instagram. Okay, so my reader is 18 to 34, young women represented on this stage. Can you guess how many times we actually open Instagram a day? 100. Oh, not that many. We have things to do. Up. 40. Wow. An average of 40 times a day, which seems like a crazy number, but I probably overshoot that myself on a daily basis. So one of the reasons that we drive traffic to this site is simply because she's there all the time, and that's a great way for us to talk to her. Another is that for many young women, this is their primary source of news, not necessarily because they're there looking for news, but because that's where they are, and oftentimes that's where they see it first. I mean, I can say for myself that Instagram is the first thing I open every morning. Is that the case for anybody else? Yeah, even before email. Don't tell anyone I said that. And so the other reason that we want to drive traffic through Instagram is that we constantly want to underscore our value to the reader. The media landscape is crowded, right? And young women have more options than ever before about what to consume and how to consume it. And so we constantly want to remind her that we're here for a reason and that we provide her value. So this is a very confusing confidence monitor. So how we do that, early morning news posts. Last year, we started posting crazy early news content. We start publishing news around 5:30 in the morning on the site. Bless my freelance news team. And we have also started posting Instagram posts around the same time because, again, that's often where our reader goes first in the morning. So we want to catch her really quickly, and we've seen really great results from that. We also have great results from real-time event coverage. So a great example is the Super Bowl. I assume all of you are at least aware of the Super Bowl. Before he was even off the stage, we had published a story about how fans were not terribly happy with Adam Levine's performance at the halftime show. We posted this Instagram, and it drove more traffic than any other Instagram we've ever posted. This got 110,000 clicks ever this year, I mean. So that was an incredible success, and it's because we were timely. The thing about my audience is that she's often second screening. You guys are familiar with this concept. She's never just watching a show. She's never just watching TV or a movie. I see nods. She has her phone in her hand all the time. Maybe if we're lucky, she also has a magazine in her lap. So the point is that we want to hit her across all of those platforms so she knows that we're there with her wherever she is. And then another way that we drive traffic is, of course, through Instagram stories. I have to say that Instagram stories is actually a place where we've strategically leaned out. We do try to drive traffic through it, but honestly, what's more important to me is that she feels less like she's in a farm place that's trying to just drive her back to a site, and more that she's in a space where she can actually absorb content that's built for her and that she can get a full experience from there. So that's sort of our focus on Instagram stories, but we still do drive traffic for the reader who wants to dig deeper into a certain topic. And then I know we're running out of time, so we don't post all news here. We're super strategic about what we do post. We know a lot through tools like Dash Hudson, through our relationship with Instagram. We know a lot about our audience on Instagram and what she's looking for, so that's what we target. And then also a good caption. None of us are fans of clickbait necessarily, but we are fans of the curiosity gap. And so that's something we play with in a fun, voicey way that our reader really reacts positively to. So these are just a couple of spikes from posts that we've put up that have driven significant traffic. What's interesting is that I told you about the Adam Levine post over here at 110,000. You see bigger spikes here, not from a single post. This is from a cluster of posts. So what we do is when we see a topic really succeeding at driving traffic on Instagram, we'll swarm it and we'll post multiple things. Not necessarily back to back, but we'll make sure that she knows that we're still on the beat. And then we also drive our readers from Instagram to other platforms. Once we see that she's really engaged and that she'll go where we take her, we'll choose key moments to take her to YouTube, to take her to our new Amazon Prime show, to take her to our new Alexa news program. And that's effective when we do it strategically. And I think I'm out of time. The music will play.
That was amazing. Thank you, Jess.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, that's perfect.
Good.
So we have a few minutes left for me to throw some questions at you really quickly. Although I know we're coming up to a break after this, so I was told we cannot cut into the break. So we'll go quickly. Jess, starting with you, since you just released a cover today, Lana Condor eating pizza. It's an amazing cover. If you don't know who that is, you need to spend more time on Instagram. But I was thinking about that in terms of something that Kate Lewis said recently, which is that all of the editors at Hearst are thinking about Instagram as they plan covers. This was your first cover. Was that in the back of your mind? And what does that actually mean?
Yes, I love, love, love this question. So the thing about Instagram is that, again, that's where my reader lives. That's where she engages with a lot of content. Even if she's reading print and digital, Instagram is sort of a home base for her. And so I always want to be thoughtful about the fact that what we print in the magazine, it will travel more even perhaps on Instagram than it will necessarily in print. And so basically when we came to planning the Lana shoot, I had my Instagram team pull references of our top performing posts that had a sort of atmospheric feel, over the top brunch scenes, beautiful florals, a super cute pair of sunglasses next to a super cute bag. We pulled all of those as examples for the photo team so that they could prop the shoot in a way that would feel native to Instagram and feel like it represented our Instagram follower back to herself. And so what we have, I wish I could show you guys, but I trust that you'll go to cosmo.com, is that we ended up with a cover shoot that's beautiful in print, but that was kind of ultimately made for Instagram. And it's doing really well in that space because of the organic way in which we planned it 360 from the get-go.
That's amazing. And that makes me want to jump to you, Daria, because Jess, you're essentially saying that you studied top-performing Instagram posts to inform a decision you made about the cover. Daria, I know you were obsessed at looking at the performance of your posts. What insights have you taken away from the Freeda community that have helped you evolve the brand?
Yes, first I have to tell that we are very different from traditional media publishers. So for example, we don't have a cover because we are not publishing a magazine, but we don't even have a website. So for us, every single post, every single story is a cover, actually, because we are thinking about every single post in the same way as the traditional media are working on the cover. The difference is that, yes, from the past, compared to the past, right now, it's not a matter of, thinking and planning all the time for, your future launch, but everything is in real time. So studying user reaction to everything we are posting is something that is changing our editorial plan on a kind of, at the beginning, daily basis, now also weekly basis. So yes, for sure, engagement is the key because the reaction of people is what we have that we didn't have before that can help to, redesign content. For example, we create original illustrations that from the beginning was a part of our our mission because we are very important. Our directors working with us, and the point of the visual impact is key because everybody, not only publisher, is publishing content on Instagram. So you are competing with not only other brands but all the people, all your friends. So the visual impact of your post is key. But at the beginning, it wasn't so easy because just the illustration wasn't enough to generate engagement. Then we start to understand how to add copy, how to play with the caption and the content in a very strong way, and everything is changing and improving. So we tested a lot of stuff, also A/B tested actually, so Instagram campaign, and then publishing on our plan the best performing one. So it's a completely different strategy, but the point is the same, trying to eat the user's attention and improve one step by step, by the way.
And a quick follow-up to that. So a lot of the illustrations you do on your feed are very, very funny, and you often sell them to advertisers.
Yes.
I sometimes feel like advertisers want the most boring, brand-safe thing in the world. How do you convince them to sort of, what do you say? Do you actually say, look at all these posts that perform so well. This is what we want to do for your brand?
Yes, totally. as long as we are publishing directly on social platform, we are not interested in driving traffic to our websites, so we are partnering with other brands to hit their goals. And yes, sometimes it's a kind of struggle, but at the end of the day, I think that brands know that they have to learn how this new generation of people are behaving on social platform, and they know that we know, so they are listening. And if they can listen, and we can, provide results are the key. So no matter about the format, the platform, the point is, catch the user attention. So for example, talking about illustration is not so easy, because if you have a very iconic product and you kind of draw it, you can recognize it, so it's easy. If it's a brand new product and you have to launch it, the illustration is not the best way. But so we also try to suggest to partners the best format. Sometimes it's illustration, sometimes it's not. But for example, we did our branded content with, from Italy, pasta, and it was a kind of spaghetto that we draw through a very long carousel. So you can see a girl eating a spaghetto, and you can swipe up to the end of this very long spaghetto to understand that at the other side of the spaghetto there is her friend that is eating spaghetti together. So it's something that is really designed on the frame that we have on Instagram. It's completely different.
That's so smart. That's so smart. So Negar, super quick question. 21 million followers at Vogue. What are you going to do to get the next 21 million? Just like off the top of your head.
For us, it really is anchored in our larger digital strategy. We're really focused on offering our consumer kind of unexpected content that's really diverse, and diverse from a standpoint of like what's happening, we are American Vogue, but what's happening on a global scale, what's happening outside of, you look at it as like a female fashion magazine, but we're very mindful about what's happening in the space. We're looking at, are there transgender influencers? Are there influencers from around the world? Are there photographers that we haven't focused on or featured before that are doing kind of their own work behind the scenes? I think that element of discovery is what's going to attract another consumer to come to us, because they know that they're seeing something they've never seen before.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think we're almost out of time, but one quick final question that I'd like to do super, super quickly. If you guys could each distill in one sentence the sort of most insightful thing you've learned about Instagram over the past year that everyone else in the room should take as a takeaway. Ooh. Like, what should I tattoo on my arm?
I have a squishy one.
Ooh.
I want to go squishy here. It's all about attitude. I think everything you do on Instagram has to imbue the attitude of the brand.
I think it's all about newness. I think that what you see, so many repetitive things on your feed, you kind of lose excitement, but when you have something new it makes you stop. It makes you stop during your quick scroll and be like, what was that?
I think is learn to think as your users are thinking, because everything is about user experience. Carousel stories, posting is just about, figure out what are your users doing and just try to, serve them their content.
So attitude, newness, and learn from the users. Those are amazing. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short break. Please return promptly at 3:20 p.m.
The best confidence amount, not reverse. Oh my God.